We went to France recently. The trip was planned pretty last minute, but we had such a lovely time. Now this was really a family trip and we spent a lot of time in Disneyland, so please excuse the very casual outfits. It's fair to say I packed for practicality and not so much fashion. Instead of flying, we decided to drive to France. This was actually our first time using the Eurotunnel and we really enjoyed it. The journey only took about half an hour. After reading what felt like just a few pages on my Kindle, we were in France. It's amazing how you can drive into a train and in no time you are in another country. We're in France. It felt a bit strange to be driving on the wrong side of the road. We drive on the left in the UK and in France they drive on the right. My husband and I were a bit nervous at first, but it was actually easier than we thought. It took a few hours to get to our hotel and I really enjoyed the journey. I made sure to soak in everything during the drive. Everything was interesting to me, including the houses, the buildings, the trees, and even the traffic. We checked into the hotel at about 3 p.m. It was a lovely day and we decided to explore the area. It turned out there was a lovely designer shopping outlet only 5 minutes away from our hotel, and we decided to drop by. It was so busy and some stores had really long queues. These outlets felt very much like the Bicester Village in the UK, which I used to visit frequently. Some of you know I don't do outlet shopping anymore. I used to make a lot of impulse purchases in designer outlets because the discounts were so tempting. But more often than not, I ended up buying things that I didn't even like that much. So now outlet shopping just doesn't have the same appeal on me anymore. There were two lovely macaroon stores in the shopping outlet. My little boy couldn't contain his excitement because macaroons are his favorite dessert. They do these massive macaroons as well and we had to get one. It was absolutely delicious. The next day, we also went to the beautiful lingerie store to get more macaroons. The decision fatigue was real because everything looked so perfect and yummy. We did more damage there, but it was worth it. Okay, you want to get that? Merci. There was a shopping mall just a short walk away where we had some amazing Italian food for dinner. We then had a walk in the shopping mall and I went to Uniqlo to have a look. To my pleasant surprise, I saw these crossbody bags which have been the best sellers in Uniqlo. I wanted to try them on last year in London, but they were sold out everywhere. I tried on a few neutral colors and decided to go for a black one. I'm planning to use this bag for travel. I like that it sits right in front of me. It feels really comfortable and is completely worry-free. It also turned out to be ever so slightly cheaper than in the UK, which was a bonus. Over the next few days, we bought even more macaroons from the same shopping mall. We kind of went a bit overboard with these French pastries, but I guess it's forgiven, seeing we were in France after all. Like I said before, we booked the trip quite last minute, so the Disneyland hotel was fully booked by then. We were a bit disappointed at first, but I really liked the town we stayed at, which was the Bailey Romainvilliers, pardon my French. Given that the Disneyland is only a short drive away, this place is really clean, quiet, and very pleasant for a somewhat touristy spot. It's a place I would very much like to visit again soon. I had to drop by a pharmacy because they are well known for stocking some really amazing French skincare products. As you can see, there was quite a selection, and I also saw several brands that I hadn't come across before. I ended up buying several products, including some facial sprays for the spring and summer. All the products are made in France. I've started using some of them recently, and everything has been working great so far. I highly recommend visiting French pharmacies when you are in France.
Hi.
Where are we going?
Disneyland!
Yes! Let's go then.
Bonjour.
Alors, est-ce que vous avez les billets du parc?
Oui.
Oui, ok.
We planned this trip mostly for Disneyland, and we actually spent 4 days there. It was Easter holiday, so the park was really busy, but we had such a lovely time. I wore very practical outfits this whole trip, and I'm glad I did because even though it was generally sunny, we did have occasional showers. I also didn't wear any designer bag this trip. Instead, I carried a backpack filled with water, fruits, and snacks. The life of a mother, but I fully embrace it. Disneyland was amazing. I feel like I enjoy it as much as my little boy did. The Lion King show was incredible. I've watched Lion King in London, New York, and Hong Kong, but every time I watch the show, it feels like the first time, and it always manages to give me a very uplifting and hopeful feeling.
But the sun going high through the sapphire sky keeps great and small on the edge of now. It's the summer light, and it moves us all through despair and hope, faith and love.
I must say, I've never really been into Frozen, but Elsa was absolutely beautiful and stunning. Topping up on sunscreen here because we don't compromise on sun protection, even in Disneyland. We always like to try out different local restaurants when we travel, but on our last day in Disneyland, we finished quite late, so we decided to eat in one of the restaurants there. It's called the Rainforest, and as you can see, the decoration was 10 out of 10. It really does make you feel like you are in the rainforest, which is pretty cool. The food was great, but my pasta was the spiciest I've ever tasted. I usually love spicy food, but this was on another level. Overall, it was a hearty meal to end a very long day. The journey back to the UK was a bit wet. Maybe it was the sky crying for us because at this point, I really wish the trip was longer because we had such a lovely time. We spent some time in the duty-free area before departure. I tried on some perfume and hand cream, but couldn't really see anything I liked. I always try on sunglasses in the duty-free because I can physically see how they look on me, and they are also quite a bit cheaper. I quite like these Dior sunglasses, but decided not to buy them because they look a bit similar to my Gucci ones. And so we left France. We continued our journey going to Legoland in Windsor and then Birmingham for indoor skydiving, which was pretty awesome. But that was it for France. My husband and I are now thinking about doing more road trips in Europe in the future. I'm quite new to doing vlogs, but I do hope you enjoyed this one. I applaud people who do very extensive vlogs because I find it quite tricky to film the moment and yet be fully present. We are planning more trips this year, so if you did enjoy this one, please give me a like and I might do more in the future. That's it from me guys. Take care and I will see you soon.